Welcome to the Digital Amateur Television Experimenters Night. This is VK7OTC, the club station of the Radio and Electronics Association of Southern Tasmania. Amateur radio is a worldwide hobby that has many different aspects. Digital television is just one of the many modes and areas that are covered. Maybe you're interested in becoming involved in the DATV Experimenters Nights. Do you realise that you do not have to be a radio amateur or need any ATV equipment to participate anywhere in the world? Also participate in the night by coming up to the Queen's Domain club rooms. Yes, right on top of the Queen's Domain in the heritage-listed Coast Wireless Station. You never know, we might get you in front of the camera or behind doing one of the many roles during the night. We get underway with our program on a Wednesday night from 7:30 p.m. local time. We'll see you soon. This is VK7 OTC.
Okay, this is VK7OTC, the club station of the Radio and Electronics Association of Southern Tasmania with our DATV Experimenters Night. And I've got Richard VK7ZBX.
G'day.
Hello, looking very bright.
I'm very bright today.
It's very bright.
Very high visual.
High vis, yeah, very safe. Very safe. So, welcome, Richard.
Welcome, thank you.
I'll just do Acknowledgement of Country. In recognition of the deep history and culture of this island, we'd like to acknowledge and pay our respects to all Tasmanian Aboriginal people, the traditional owners of the land upon which we meet. And we've got the birthday boy on, who has had a significant birthday today. I won't say what it is, but it's a significant
birthday.
Ends
with a zero.
Ends with a zero. Yes, it ends with a zero. And so greetings to our birthday boy, Ken. ZL4KD, thanks for being on, and also if you are watching, and there are a few watching, please let us know. Oh, look at this! See, nice. as we talk about it, Murray. Now, Murray, please chime in. Please chime in on our discussion that we're about to have about the field day. So he was there. He was well and truly there. So the reason I've got Richard in the studio is. Richard and Murray were both up on Mt Wellington.
We were.
Oh, here's one we prepared earlier. Oh, hang on. What have I done?
I think Google's trying to communicate.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Siri, go away. Yeah.
Don't call her that.
Oh, sorry.
She'll get mad.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So, now... Richard and Murray were up on Mt Wellington in the super duper field day van.
Field day truck. Yep.
And what frequencies did you have available?
We were active on all bands from 6 metres through to 10 gigs with the exception of 5.7 gigs.
Okay. Impressive.
So, yeah, look, it was really good. We had a really good run talking to the guys up north.
Okay.
The guys up north didn't have a lot of locals to talk to, so it was a bit quiet for them, so I was really glad that they went. We learned a few things. We learned that don't work 1296 150 on upside band to the boys up north when 1296 150 is the local FM chit chat frequency because it probably upsets the locals.
Really pisses people off. Yeah.
Sort of apologies to everybody down south that was trying to listen to. And look, the same as obviously working north south when you're on the mountain, you can hear the boys up there on Channel 50 quite nicely because you're having a contact with them. The poor people down here can't hear.
Okay.
So I think
no.
that was
okay.
But look, we had a really fine bunch of conversations with the guys up north.
So who was up north? Who
was? Peter PD and Andrew DW, went to White Hills, and they set up. And yeah, we had some really, really good signals. Probably the tightest band was 6 metres, to be honest. To work them, it was pretty touch and go.
6 metres was a bit... Well, I suppose it's the magic band, but it was a bit variable.
It was. Murray heard a few... I think he worked a couple, but he heard a few others.
Yep. And
he's like, had the headphones on, he's listening, and you see him sort of go... And he'll call and he'll go, QRZ, who was that? And you're like, oh yeah, there was just a few signals sort of floating by.
Correct. And so, who did you work on 6 metres?
I don't think I wouldn't work any DX on 6. We might have had a couple of contacts.
But you contacted the guys up north.
Oh, the guys up north, but only just. But the outstanding contact of the day.
Yep.
Was when we were because we just go to 144, 150 and call CQ.
Yep.
And then we went to 432, 150 and we called CQ and we just called on 432 and the guy from the EMDRC came back on 432, 150 like 5 and 5.
7ER.
It's like, what was that call? And we worked and we said, well, listen for you on 2 metres and we did and we didn't hear anything and it was gone.
Yeah,
it's like, wow.
And that's, hello Warren.
It was really, really good on 70, and we worked. It could have been unusual
on 6. Okay.
Yeah, I think Murray worked pretty much the V. I think we might have shared a couple, but.
Okay. Well, I made a VK4 contact.
Oh, nice.
And that was right at the beginning. Yep. So right at the beginning of the contest, he came through absolutely thumping through, and then later in the day I did a VK5. I made the contact with him, but didn't get his grid square, and he disappeared.
So you didn't make the contact?
No, so I didn't make the contact, and I actually deleted it out of the log because I went, no, don't do this.
Yeah.
And about an hour later, he was back on.
Oh wow!
But only for like split second. I managed to make the contact, get all the details, and do that. But that was, and so. Talk about your Murray on the headphones. I was hearing lots of other stations just come up for a few syllables and then disappear.
Sort of like pings almost.
Well and truly, and just
So we were pretty happy. We worked David DC up north. We couldn't hear.
I heard that contact.
We couldn't hear. I think it's probably similar to last year. I think we were trying to get David to turn his beam south. So he was trying to work. He was obviously tripping over all the VK3s and VK5s. He was probably working on 2 metres.
Yep.
But when he sort of the signals came up really, really good, and we worked Brian KWB on on 2 as well, which was really, really good.
So I was down at Goat Bluff Lookout with. Focus, Justin. Well and truly. So this looks very similar to the original Mount Wellington.
How about that?
So this is Goat Bluff. For those who don't know, Goat Bluff Lookout is down just before you come into South Arm, and it looks out to Betsy Island and
Blackjack Rock.
Blackjack Rock, which is where somebody parked a catamaran a little while ago. And can I just say, I got there at about 10 o'clock-ish. There was no one in the car park. I was the first one there. And the car park progressively filled up for the rest of the day. And then they all disappeared and I was the last one to leave.
You were the prime attraction.
And every time people walk past, they'd sort of slow down and go, oh my God. So anyway, that's the arrangement, and I had 9 centimetres to 6 metres. So that's what's there.
We actually had a visitor. We had VK3TMP, whose name escapes me.
He posted something.
Who was the president? He's president of the EMDRC.
Yeah.
So he sort of rocked in, and we knew he was a ham because he's like, nice. Rather than like, what's all this stuff?
Yeah. What's going on here? It's that. Hey, that's nice. Oh, that's a 6 metre. Oh, that's a.
So, but obviously, it just goes to show you the points. Like we worked, had 4 contacts with. I think we had 4 contacts with each of the boys up there.
Okay.
Because they didn't sort of stay for long. I think we only did 2 rounds with those guys. I think it was 6,500 points for the 4 contacts. Oh. So like it's
correct.
It makes you sort of wonder. 24 gigs. But
that's 10 times multiplier.
Yeah. But
you got to make the contact though.
that's right. And look, we had really good signals on 2.4 gigs.
Yep. Okay.
A little bit disappointing. Well, really good signals on 10 gigs.
Yep.
But 9 centimetres, we still think Peter and I are going to do some more tests. We think it probably wasn't optimal. Although we only had 2 watts and he had 30. Okay. But we weren't hearing him all that well. So we're just going to do some investigation and see maybe if there was any sort of possibilities. But all the other bands, it was great. Like we worked on really good signals, like 1296, sort of 5 and 9.
Yep.
Which was pretty nice.
Okay. Now, I took this. I remembered to take this photo. This is looking in exactly the other direction from what I was looking at with the van. So this is if I'm looking out the van.
Yep.
And if you just to give you an idea about where it is, if I zoom in here.
Oh.
That's South Wellington.
Wow. Okay.
So it had some issues, and in fact, when I first went into that that particular car park, I went past here and I went down to South Arm, and started to go across the hill. Across the hill. Into just as you come over the hill into Opossum Bay.
Yep.
And there is a pull-off there that I actually looked at it on Google Earth and I went, that's actually a possibility. It had a slightly better outlook to Mt Wellington because there wasn't all this crap in the way. However, it was just a pull-off on the side of the road. Yeah,
and look, even the little pull-off we've got on the side of the road up at Mt Wellington, we tried to be conscious this year and we set up as far sort of inboard as we could.
Yeah, okay.
Because the buses were coming we actually got up and moved. We had the 10 gig set up out on the thing on the outboard side, like on the driver's side of the van.
Yep.
We actually moved it because it's like, wow, don't want to sort of get it collected by a bus.
Correct. I'll just show you. I'll just show you this. This is the reason that I packed up. This is how do I get this to go?
Just need bigger pipe.
And there was some real gusts that came through, and I just went, oh yeah, not comfortable with this. So I packed up. But anyway, now on our Discord channel, there was a few people who posted the number of contacts. So I got ZBX with 119.
Yep.
ZMS, I think, commented that it was over
100.
Over 100. So Muzz has just said here, also worked VK7DC KWB, VK3ER, which is the EMDRC club station, I think. KQ on 6 and 2. We only had a small antenna on 9 centimetres and made 101 contacts. Work. So fantastic. Thanks, Murray. I made 94.
Yep.
ID made 31. Now, ID was only on
1296,
23
which is a really good effort.
And XTC, who's out in the club rooms.
First field day down, he was...
at 46, and he was up on Mount Romney.
Yeah.
So...
he was saying he could hear the boys up north on 2 metres and 70 centimetres SSB, sort of in and out. So
okay,
we probably need to sort of try and coordinate a bit better next time.
Yep.
To try and sort of, get the boys up north to turn their antennas and sort of try and...
Yeah. So I'm not sure how they went. I assume they did pretty well cross Bass Strait.
They didn't, no, because White Hills is not good for...
So in this direction.
That's right. So they've pretty much shadowed.
Yeah,
And that was why whenever the boys up north want to go field daying,
yep,
they've got to make the call of if they want to work us or if they want to work the mainland.
Yeah,
so this time they worked us, which was sort of really good of them. But
yep.
I think they're looking for some places where maybe they can sort of point north as well.
Yeah, okay.
That's where the guys up the northwest coast, David DC, and those guys would just be like tripping over VK3s and 5s. And
well and truly.
You look on the VK logger or VK spotter site.
Yeah.
It's just
And the contest radar site, which, can I just say, still works with VKCL when you put it in.
Yep.
If you've got net connectivity, it will go to and log you into the contest radar. So that was really good. So now, reminder.
Put your log in.
Put your log in. Check it first and put your log in. If you happen to get it wrong and you realise that there is something you need to correct...
You can put it in again.
You put it in again. Because it's the last one that was uploaded that they take on board.
Checking it is very important. Murray will probably tell you the story about how we were keeping sort of a bit of a tally on scores.
Yep.
And like Murray was like 12,000 points in front of me, and I'm like, geez, dude, did you work Mexico on 6 metres or what? And he's like, I don't really know. And as it turned out, he keyed in the grid square for the boys up at White Hills incorrectly. And I think he put them a significant distance away. And of course, the beauty of VKCL is that when you put in the grid square for a call sign, it's clever and it remembers it. So if you mess it up the first time, it'll dutifully mess it up in subsequent times.
It's consistent.
So Murray was sitting there and I heard him go, what's going on here? And then I heard him go, there you go. He goes, let me just change the grid square back to the correct one.
73 versus 37.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Murray.
So, check, and you'll spot those obvious errors,
Well and truly. Well and truly.
Yeah.
Now, you need to put in your log by midnight on the 30th of January.
Yep.
And into the VK log checker. So if you do pick something up, then just upload your log and it'll take the last one. So, but I think it was certainly worth it.
It was good.
Even though it was 30 degrees.
I didn't work any of the DX on Sunday morning. Was a bit sort of manic. I heard, but I sort of made the commitment I was going to do it on Saturday, and I had other things I had to do, and they were like, "Oh, everyone's working VK for on 6 minutes." I'm like, la.
Yeah. And we've got Lionel, KJ70FH from New York. So howdy Lionel. Actually, it must be early in the morning over there, or very late at night, one or the other. Anyway, so welcome Lionel. So that's a bit of a wrap up of the field day. I'm hoping that we get at least the winter field day results out pretty soon.
Spring.
Oh, spring.
Yeah.
Spring. Sorry.
I think the winter
we've had winter.
Out, yeah.
No, we've had winter. So yeah, and see how people 4 a.m. ish. Okay, yes, it is very early in the morning. So thank you for being there, Lionel.
Sounds like an EME person.
Oh, definitely. So that's good. All right. Well, just to do a reminder, it is still Ross Hull.
Yes.
Ross Hull runs for the whole of January. So it is still Ross Hull. So please. And
you can use your log from the field day.
You can use your log from the field day.
Haven't actually quite worked out how to do that yet, but
yeah.
Give that some close attention over the next couple of days.
I think that might be some changes to the header to say Ross Hull instead of...
Yeah, I want to try and...
We'll do some investigation and we'll let you know. We'll let you know later.
I noticed there's lots of guys this year doing Ross Hull with FT8.
Oh, okay.
Using the EU contest mode,
Yeah.
which I've never actually done before, and
okay.
I think we should probably try it
sort of
before next Wednesday.
And Gary, VK7JGD. Now, Gary and Anthony, VK7LAG, were operating on Pickett's Hill.
That's right, yep.
Pickett's Hill, I think it was. You can correct me there, Gary. But hello to the channel people. The channel people, that sounds terrible, doesn't it? It sounds like a horror movie. It's the channel people.
Not the village people.
No, it could be the village people, who knows. It was the folk people during the weekend, because it was the Cygnet Folk Festival, which apparently went off, all the people I've spoken to that went down there. So, absolutely went off. Gary, you might want to confirm for us where you were. Now, they were operating 23 all the way through to 6,
yep,
I think.
I think we were. Then we might have missed them on 6.
Okay.
But, that's the other. The good thing and the bad thing about being on Mt Wellington,
yep.
especially if you're pointing north, is like, I can't hear any of these guys. Oh, hang on a minute. Let me turn the antenna around. Especially on 1296.
Yeah. Because I was sometimes I was hearing you off the back of your beam.
Yeah. A couple of times we heard you, it's like you were way off frequency, but it was just some funky phase distortion.
Correct.
Thing that as soon as we moved the antenna like another 10 degrees, you were perfect.
You were there. I was off frequency initially because I know Steve, VK700, the FM passband on his transceiver is obviously a lot tighter than some of the others. Because I was 2 kilohertz off, according to Alan, VK7KAJ. So I came down 2 kilohertz, and suddenly Steve could actually understand me.
Okay. Need to pitch in and give him a wider passband filter or something.
But anyway, so that problem was solved after I worked out. Here we go, Pickett Hill at Leslie Vale.
Yeah.
So good stuff. All right, thanks, Gary. Now, can you tell us approximately or accurately how many contacts you made, Gary? That's probably a good thing, because I didn't get a feel, and you had an interesting numbering scheme for a multi-operator log. I think that was about multi-operator logs.
And he gave me 705 9 by 700 something. I'm like, wow,
that's they're impressive. Doing really well. So yeah, if you can let us know approximately how many contacts, that'd be great. But I think it was successful.
I think it was good fun. Look,
yeah.
And look, the fact that it was 30 degrees in the city.
Yep.
We were up on the mountain. It was great.
Yeah. I can't say that was any benefit to me, but.
Got to be some advantages to being 1,100 metres above sea level.
All I kept hearing was all these people having fun on a beach not that far away from me, and I'm going, I really should go to that.
But you were having
after
fun.
This.
You were having fun.
Correct. I was. It's always good, and you always learn something. I did use one of the things I did use was I made up a little stand, because every time I put up those the 3 antennas, I used to actually, because the widest antenna is the 6 metre one, which is why I very much like the Moxon 6 metre antenna that you guys have made up. But that 6 metre, I used to actually balance it whilst I was doing all the bolts up on the ends of the elements of the 6 metre antenna, and then promptly have to bend them all back right straight again. So I actually made up a little wooden arrangement that held the pole off the ground enough for me to do everything up,
nice.
Which worked a treat, can I just say. So
it's all those little tricks and things
correct.
That you just learn
and it just made it so much easier, and just kept it off the ground at the right level, and I just walked it up and put it in and bolted in the little
only
stays.
thing Murray and I didn't do, which I'm sure we'll do next year, is we because we've got the periscopy type thing inside to turn the antennas.
Yep.
We sort of actually had plans. We even had some white electrical tape there and a texter. We were going to put a thing on it and write, north and whatever. But we sort of didn't. And every time we looked for it, it's like, quick, turn it south. Okay, so where is it pointing? Okay.
Oh yeah, I was doing the same thing out the window because the wind kept pushing it off.
We were really lucky. I think we were sheltered quite a bit from the wind. You could see it was blowing a few of the trees around, but it was a bit tricky when we went over the road to sort of have a look at the scenery. But it was quite pleasant.
Okay,
I had sunblock on. It was very pleasant for a field day. Very pleasant.
Definitely. All right. So now what we've got next is a bit of an experiment. We've had donated to us a Generation One Starlink satellite terminal, and we're going to try and do a teardown on it to find out what's in it. So what I've got is we're going outside broadcast. So we're going next door, and we'll do the teardown on the satellite, the Generation One, which I understand no longer works, because they've upgraded to Generation 2, 3, 4, or 5, or whatever it is.
The newer ones.
The newer ones.
Yeah. It's a round dishy. They've gone to a square dishy.
Right.
Rectangular dishy.
That's a technical thing. Yeah.
I believe it is a technical term when it comes to Starlink. Yes.
So what we're going to do is we'll go to our outside broadcast, which is next door. So just bear with us, because what we're this is live television here. So we're going to go next door to our what I can do here is go OB, push the OB button, and there's a big Starlink box. So we'll head next door. What I'll do is get a bit of audio as well, and we'll head next door, and we'll do a teardown of the Starlink terminal. So just bear with us. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Martin. You're on television. No, that's all right. So what we're going to do is a teardown. We're actually going to take it apart. Cool. And find out what's in it.
Do you want me to adjust the camera so they can see you as well?
No, they don't want to see me. They don't want to see me. But anyway, this is what's in the box. It's a stove. It's a Generation One stove. Compliments of a tertiary institution that I won't say anything about. So this is the instructions, I assume. This is how to put it together. So point at satellite, plug things in, power them on, and then go to your smart device. So that's pretty simple, isn't it? So there's it's live. We've got tripod, we've got power supply, PoE, Ethernet power supply.
Audio level is suboptimal.
Low. Oh, okay. Let me just. I'm hearing myself.
I can hear you.
Yeah. I'm hearing myself.
Yeah, you can play.
Oh, just bear with me.
Hello.
Okay.
Oh, you know why? The reason it's so obvious because he's echoing back at us. Turn the volume down there.
Hang on.
Turn it down. 1 moment, please.
Done.
There we go.
Okay. Power over Ethernet. Power supply. Starlink terminal. Greens. Complete with your. Oh, well, that's where you plug your Ethernet through. So I assume that powers that. You've got lots of cables and bits and pieces to plug all this together. Shielded Ethernet cables, power cables. You've got your lead to your antenna, which is Ethernet.
RJ45.
Shielded.
RJ45.
So, yeah, I think that comes out. And you've got your satellite dish,
Coffee table.
which is a very nice, very SpaceX looking device, which plugs into there. Let's plug that into there.
Yeah.
Cool. Do we want to plug it in? See whether it goes?
See if it blows up.
With the smart gate,
Plug your remote.
the message gate.
These instructions, Justin. Oh, here's the
Power
diagram.
supply box has a white side and a black side.
That's
Ah, well, that'll be the white side.
that'd be the white side. Okay.
That'll be the white side.
And then you have that.
So does that go into the white box, into the white side?
That'd be all white. And I'm guessing the grey one goes in the black one.
I doubt that it's probably going to find anything, but who knows?
Very good. Never know.
Might move.
Or is it going to tilt
It's
itself?
supposed to do it automatically.
I suspect it may be.
It might not be picking, it might.
You got 3 satellites nearby. You've got 2 lights on the sword.
So there's link lights on there. I was just going to do a reset on it.
You got 3 Starlink satellites nearby. Potentially not visible through.
I don't know.
Just tell me where they are at the moment.
Maybe it knows it's not outside and can't find any GPSs to know where it's supposed to be.
Possibly.
Well, quite possibly. We can take it outside. By itself.
But this is like Gen 1, so
It may not.
it's deactivated. It's not. It doesn't have an active service.
Okay.
That might be the other thing you might need.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, hang on. No, so I just push that button.
Searching.
Coffee table.
Searching.
Bird bath. The hexagonal.
Hamburgers.
It does. Lunch is ready.
Now,
Make a cool
any
lazy
indication?
sushi.
Oh,
Yeah, that's probably
hang on.
trying to do a search for
Your phone.
satellites.
What's the IP address on there?
It's changing
It
his
says-
mind.
it says
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Starlink 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The white is a Wi-Fi.
Oh, Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi.
It's Wi-Fi.
Are we prepared
The
to
world of Wi-Fi.
Starlink?
It's almost exactly like
There's like 2 satellites literally on top of us right now. Yeah, we probably see it through that. For the group, yeah.
Into
You
your
never
account.
know.
Enter your account details.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone have a Starlink account they're prepared to sacrifice?
I'm guessing it's doing the laptop to get a fix or something at the moment.
Elon's
the
got
antenna
enough
off.
money. He doesn't need my account.
Let's spoken like a true amateur.
And the satellite's gone. There's another one coming.
Oh, I suspect we're sitting in a Faraday cage right at the moment, so I suspect it's
So I'm guessing it's doing that, so it's getting a forward signal to
to try and then home in on something.
to try and triangulate something.
Is it moving? Is it trying to?
Well, no, I think it's gone flat just to get a best view of the sky sort of thing.
How many on board?
Bit like a GPS antenna.
Next one, EIRP 38.2 dBW. 14 gigs.
38. What's that? 100 watts? No.
Effective. Maximum transmit.
That's a fair bit. Yeah, I'll just go and look whether there's any comments.
Okay. Just pull it apart already. Yeah, okay. Okay, Murray. Okay.
Murray's comment is
Just pull it apart already.
Yeah.
All right.
Set fire to it.
100.
I'm
Then
being
we'll send it to Elon Musk.
I'm being safe and turning it off.
The next question is, how do you pull it apart?
Lionel KJ7OFH says howdy from New York, and he also says 4 Amish, as in the number 4 and Amish.
Battery pack.
You're being too gentle, Josh.
Oh yes.
Is this an episode of Electro Blue?
Yeah, with less swearing.
You've got more than one screwdriver.
And then we went up to
One of them mobile phone speakers.
It isn't like
It's almost similar to those drums that they use on the phone towers, isn't it? Hey!
Oh, there's the motor.
Lovely.
Then it's talks.
Well, I'll tell you what,
T10's by look, I reckon.
PD is always 2 hertz.
Yeah, that's interesting. There's 2 on either
Ah,
side.
stop looking for 20.
Is that for strength or is that doing 2 different things?
One's that,
One's as, one's L. Is that right?
Ah,
Azimuth and elevation.
okay. Well, let's go to the next step.
Where's the talks drivers?
That's right.
Just waiting for more comments, but
Put the other side on.
Yeah, you probably could.
Probably the same technique, I say.
I heard myself first time.
Please don't hurt yourself.
It comes apart like this.
Right.
Started to. It's glued. So
you probably need a heat gun or something to melt the glue. It's coming. While we're pulling the dish apart, Gary had said picket heel 7 on 6 metres,
Yes.
probably need to remove all of that stuff
15 on
first.
23,
Turn it over.
20 on 2, 20 on 70 centimetres, VK7AG did 2 metres and 70 centimetres.
Yeah, well, there's 2 of them there, the motors and skiers. I guess one does the tilt, the other one does the rotate.
Before you go and do it, Justin, will we try those 3 little ones?
Oh, to get the actual...
I'm not 30 years old.
And then come off first.
Field day, I reckon. Field day.
They're making it look so easy. I've got too many candles on the cake. I couldn't even hold the thing still these days.
Yeah. It's interesting how it's got the 2 motors.
Screwdriver a bit work?
Like it's not...
Yeah, but I haven't got a...
It's coming.
Please.
Shall I say the joke, please? Getting people to fit it to change a light bulb? Job done.
No.
In theory. So yeah, I'm not sure if that's for field day, Justin, but Gary's made a comment.
Should we get a so they can put the leftovers.
Mark says yes.
Yeah, that's the Shroud.
They've got to get it back together.
You can see the
I was going to give that
motor
to
on
Ray
it.
to point it to this.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, where is it?
Out of the ATV studio. I'd say that's a drain. Either a drain or it's got desiccant in it. Keeps everything dry.
Justin,
It's got a motor in there that also spins
just a comment here, Justin. Line is KJ7OK. Rest in peace, edition. We hardly knew you.
That doesn't help anybody at all. So we still need to get it apart.
Can you try that?
Is it going to come apart easier though now with no screws in it? Probably.
How long were those screws? How long were they? Quite long. So they've gone through to the front piece. So now, by right, wow. So it's a panel. It's a panel antenna.
I think there's one here for
I'm trying to rip. Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
The one panel.
Not bad.
That's kind of neat.
Right, keep going.
Pull these clips on the edge.
That's the place of the releasing of the information in the space.
You got a couple of located pins. That wasn't connected to it.
No, that wasn't. No, it was all connected to this part, Danny. Unless it's the diagnostic connector or something.
Push a screwdriver. Let's try pushing a screwdriver in and see whether that is actually working. No, that's not a screwdriver.
It came through on my email.
Glue, but it's not being held on by something else.
So they're not going to come off.
Imaging, special imaging.
Unless it's got that lug nut on it.
Big crane. Big crane. That's a mile wide.
It does look like glue.
It's glued, it's quite a while ago.
I don't know where
that's not practical to do this at the There's a nice piece of perspex there.
Well, they needed some reason to show that they didn't know what they were doing.
And it's got a honeycomb support structure under there. You can see it.
I mean, you probably peel the lemon off the front.
Yeah, I'm sort of trying to get it.
We've got exactly like this something.
Alright. Cool.
So those clips are obviously to hold the plastic bit on the back.
Being out there, being in the car.
Yeah, it's just
Is that nice and sharp? Yes. Oh, good. I'll cut this off
On camera.
No. Please extend it.
I wasn't going to move it.
Not that far.
means you cut your hand more.
Oh, it's a machine.
You know, on the fanatic, he said, I've got a things to say.
If you can cut the back,
I don't think they intend many people to pull them apart.
All their trade secrets.
I wonder if you can get into those without high What if you can get the back as in the
You're better off to go folding it in the vice and then crack it and then snap it and then the only way to get into it.
Because of disassembly.
Well, given that's to be outside, I don't know what the lifespan of it is, but
So cool.
probably got.
Can we do anything with that? Oh, I see. Yeah.
We just
That's actually the 3M VHB stand as well.
I think it's just a panel antenna.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Or it's a panel antenna array.
Yeah.
So there's an array of panel antennas in there.
Within there.
That's the simplicity of
I think the most interesting part is the motor assembly. Which if nobody else wants it, I'll put my hand up there.
You realise if you take that with you, you've got to take everything else. No, you get that with everything else.
Plug-in's pretty good.
Oh well, that's a teardown of a.
It's not really a teardown.
Well, a partial teardown.
Did you expect there to be much to it?
No, probably a bit more.
initial.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how you exactly.
It looks like a Tesla truck.
That is nothing more than a T-strainer. That's all it is, just a T-strainer.
Must be so pointed up.
Ventilation.
Yeah.
Ventilation, that's all it is.
I imagine these can get hot
Well, there you go. More about moisture, keeping moisture out, the condensation and stuff like that.
If you try and open that from underneath the PCB,
The aluminium is glued right around the edge.
What do you reckon they'll end up spinning around and not stay there?
Ben VK7ZBX Hey, late to the party. A lot going on here, by the look.
Correct. All right.
We'll go to the next one.
and I had a cheap drill. Injector.
It's limbo.
Okay. All right, we're back in the studio, and we'll turn that off. Turn that down. So that was yes, Ben. There was a lot going on. Generation One Starlink terminal tearing down finding out what's inside the dish mainly. So we might we'll swap back to that our outside broadcast shortly and see how they're progressing. Now I just wanted to I'll just finish off with the quick update on the mag loop, and I'm not going to bang on about this for a huge amount of time. The mag loop on the weekend, I was able to the one we actually had in the studio the other day. The mag loop is now mounted, as you'll see from this picture. That is now mounted. I made up a bracket. Machined up a bracket down here so that it did the size, the diameter conversion to the 50mm pipe that's on the that's a Daiwa high heavy duty rotator. There's a bolt that goes through here, and so we've got it now on the rotator. I'm a little bit happier about that arrangement. I was a bit concerned that all of the force is sitting at this point on the mag loop. That is an aluminium bracket that I actually machined up. There is a picture here somewhere. Just bear with me. There we go. So that, and what's he do? He pushes the power off button. So there was a aluminium sleeve of a variety of diameters that I machined up. You can see all the swarf on the lathe behind it. So that sits at the base of the antenna. and lets me put it into the rotator. The rotator, for those who don't know, I did an article on the K3NG rotator a little while ago, and ended up buying, actually back, and I think the date on here is 20... Oh, I don't think there is a date on there. Anyway, there was a guy in Chechnya who is the remote QTH person. The remote QTH, and I think remote QTH is still on there. If we zoom out a bit here, this is the remote QTH azimuth rotator. This only does azimuth. It can do elevation, but it's set up primarily for azimuth. It gives you a little display, so it's displaying what's coming back from the rotator, and it gives you clockwise and counterclockwise, as well as tracking things and all sorts of things. Inside, very neatly made. There's a little Arduino here, and then let me focus that. That's very out of focus. It's based on the K3NG Rotator software, which is on the Arduino. You've got the USB sticks out the back, so you can actually control it via USB if you want to. This gives you all of your combinations of AC, DC, and multi-phase AC. Switched. You can see these two relays here. It gives you all of those combinations, and you set that up in the software options, and then it enables you to display where it is. It takes on most rotators there is a pot, a multi-turn pot, or a geared pot that gives you the position of the rotator. So that comes in through this DB15 connector here, as well as the AC or the DC that goes out that controls the actual rotator. So that's the remote QTH rotator interface that I'm actually going to be using for controlling the rotator, and then I have all of the hard to source parts for the mag loop tuner that I mentioned before. So that's the mag loop tuner from Dave Truen G7IYK, which is this little board here. The PCB and the programmed PIC over here is on its way to me. So this will enable me to do the tuning of the very fine tuning of the variable capacitor, the variable vacuum capacitor. And then this will enable me to control the direction that the loop's actually pointing in. So give me the directivity. So that's the program for tonight. We are running throughout the holiday period, all the way up to our presentation night. And just reminding people, our presentation night on the 1st of February is actually Warren VK7 and 0, VK7 and 0 Whiskey November, who's going to give us a wonderful little talk, a Q&A, and a conversation about his time at Casey Station. So that's our presentation night in a couple of weeks' time. We've got one more ATV night for January. So anyway, that's our DATV Experimenters Night for tonight. We thanks to all the input, and really wish everybody stay safe, stays cool. And we'll see you next week on our VK7 OTC, who is the club station of the Radio and Electronics Association of Southern Tasmania. I've got the t-shirt on here. And just a reminder that if I turn around here, we do it with high frequency. In fact, we do it with VHF, UHF and above. So there you go. So 73, and we'll catch you next week. This is VK7 OTC now signing off, and we'll catch you next time.